Welcome to Nepo Press. This video is find and replace using patterns. The goal is to let your word processor do as much of the donkey work as possible when marking up a manuscript to format it as an ebook or a printed book. This poster is available at nepotism.net/posters/find-replace.html. Thanks to Monica Anderson for volunteering her manuscript that we'll be using for this demonstration. Let's open it in a word processor. I'm running LibreOffice. I like to think of this as an upgrade to Microsoft Word, but what we're doing here works very similarly in any word processor. So we'll go ahead and use this one, and it might be worth you installing LibreOffice just to follow along step by step. File, open. Ivory.doc is the manuscript. The first thing we'll do in general is to turn off some word processor settings. Here's a list. I'll leave this for you to do at your leisure. We'll just zip past this and pick it up after I've turned them off. Okay, we've turned off headers. Okay, we've turned off headers and smart quotes and things like that, and we're ready to go. One of the first things you may need to do with your manuscript is to mark all of your chapter titles. Chapter titles are marked with an asterisk followed by a space, and in this particular manuscript, it's easy to find where the chapters are because they all start with the word chapter in uppercase. So we'll start with a simple find and replace. We'll click on Edit, click on Find and Replace. First thing we should do is to click Other Options to open this up. Here's the example where the chapters start with the uppercase chapter. If they start with something different in your manuscript, you'll have to adjust this to suit your situation. We want the match case on, so I check this. We want regular expressions off, and we want no format. Here's the regular expressions box. We want it unchecked. When we click here in the search for box, make sure that this no format button is grayed out. If it were not grayed out, you'd want to click on it to turn formatting off. So here's the pattern we're going to search for. You can copy and paste, or you can type it in. Don't include the quote marks. Right click, copy. I go over here and I paste it. The replacement string, this is actually written incorrectly. That should be an asterisk instead of a $sign. We'll copy and paste it, and then I'll fix it. Copy, paste, $sign. This is a simple search and replace. Let's just do the search part first, and we'll see what we find. We'll click the Find button. There's a chapter. There's a chapter. There's a chapter. Okay, it looks like it's doing what we want. So let's go back to the top of the document. Not absolutely necessary. And we'll click Replace All. 54 times. See how much faster that is than eyeballing it. Now let's search for chapter again, and we'll see if it's marked correctly. This looks okay. Now remember the asterisk from the earlier videos and our user manuals. You know that the asterisk has to start at the left margin, and it does. It doesn't look like it because this line is centered. See, the center button is pressed. If we'll click on the left button, you'll see that it really was on the left side. So that's what we want. We'll search for some more chapters. Yes, 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 yes. So we've got the chapters marked. Next, let's mark scene breaks. In this particular manuscript, scene breaks are easy to find because the author has used a series of 5 asterisks separated by spaces. So we'll copy that. We'll highlight that so it'll be replaced when we paste. That's what we'll search for. Let's search for a few of them. There we go. There's a scene break. Another scene break. Let's zoom in on this to make it easier to see. We'll find another scene. There's a scene break, scene break, scene break. Okay, that looks good. Let's go to the top. And the replacement pattern will be, we'll add the scene tag to it. We leave the asterisk because clearly the author wanted the scene breaks to have 5 asterisks, so we leave them just as she had them. The only thing we've done is to start it with a scene tag at the left margin. This time there is no case to match. We'll uncheck that. Again, we make sure regular expressions is not checked. We make sure when we click up here that the no format button is grayed out. That looks good. Let's replace all of them. Click on Replace All. It replaced it 19 times. Now let's search for that and we'll see how it looks. Okay, looks good. Again, this has to be at the left margin. It is, you can tell, because you cannot arrow leftward any farther. Instead, it goes up. So if you like, you can click the left Justify button, but you don't have to. So we've marked all the scene breaks in one fell swoop. We earlier marked all the chapters in one fell swoop. Now it's time to mark the italics. This is the thing that you usually have the most of in a manuscript. Many authors have many words and or phrases in italics. We have to mark them by surrounding them with asterisks. You may wonder why, if they're already marked in italics in your word processor, why do we need to add the asterisks? The reason is we're going to export the word processor version into a plain text version before uploading it to Nepo Press to format it. When we save a copy as plain text, it will lose the formatting information. That's why we add the asterisks. So here's what we want. We want match case should be off, and it's unchecked. That's what we want. We want regular expressions on this time. So we turn on regular expressions. We want format set to italics. So we click in the search for box. Then we click on the format button. Then we click on italic. Then we click OK. Notice that below the search for box it now says italic. Then we want to use this pattern. Remember, don't include the double quote marks, but highlight the rest of that pattern. Right-click, copy. Highlight whatever is in the replace box, and then right-click and paste the pattern we want to use. This looks complicated. It may look scary. Don't worry about it. Treat it like a recipe. All you do is copy and paste. Simple enough. So we're going to search for, oops, I pasted it into the wrong box. We need to highlight this box and paste it. Then we need to get the replace pattern, copy, go over here, highlight whatever's in the replace box, right click, paste to replace it. This is a pattern that will find our italicized phrases, providing we have selected Format Italics, which we did a few minutes ago. We have to have regular expressions turned on. We do not want to match case. So we're ready to do it. We'll replace all of it. Now I've usually been going to the top of the document, but you don't have to do that. I'll go to the top. I'll put the cursor here. I'll say Replace All. It found it 167 times. Now let's clear this search for box out. I highlight it and press the backspace key, for example. We still have the format set to italic, so if we click find, we'll find all the italics, regardless of what's in them. Here's some italics, and note how we've got the asterisk wrapped around on the phrase just like we want. Let's look at it for another one. Okay, that looks good. An asterisk tight against the beginning of the phrase and tight against the end of the phrase. Let's find the next occurrence. Okay, this is a longer phrase, several sentences, but it works the same. An asterisk tight against the beginning letter, tight against the ending, in this case a period. There may be some situations where this will do something funny. For example, if your word processor had italicized some white space, we would have some asterisks wrapped around some white space. That would be completely needless, but you would notice that later in proofreading, and you could remove the extra asterisks. Let's see if we can find one of those examples. Now this is a funny case. Look at this. This child is italicized, then there's a space, and then has today, etc. is italicized. There's really no reason for breaking that up, but it won't hurt anything. You can leave it like that, or you can go ahead and take out the extra asterisks and put a space. It's up to you. Let's find the next occurrence. Okay. Here we have an example of a space italicized. Perhaps the author edited this paragraph and in the process deleted something but left an italicized space. Anyway, we would delete that. And this could be done with a search and replace, but I'll just do these manually. Now that's okay. That's okay. Okay. This gives you an idea of how that works. By using the pattern, this complicated pattern, and this replacement pattern, we were able to mark all the italics very rapidly. This can save a lot of time. Well, that's the main thing I wanted to cover. Under resources, again, I want to thank Monica for loaning her manuscript for this. You can see her books at these Amazon addresses. If you'd like to try out our formatting service, we'd like to offer you a free 2-week book account. Just email frank@nepotism.net with your book title and author name. You can find more about our formatting services. You can read our manuals directly from our website, or you can download them as eBooks. We have some other videos on our YouTube channel. If you'd like to install LibreOffice so you can follow along click by click, it's an easy installation. Just go to LibreOffice.org and follow the directions. If you'd like to learn more about regular expressions, here are some links that may help. The term in the biz is regular expressions. So if you want to find more about it, you can just Google for regular expressions or regular expressions in LibreOffice. Or if you're using Microsoft Word, you'd look for regular expressions in Microsoft Word. Well, that concludes today's video. Thank you very much.